This suit isn't appropriate for where we're going. Mr. Holmes, you played very well yesterday. I'm obliged to you, Sir Charles. I play many outdoor sports. That's the key to my success. My friend Dr. Watson has decided to join me. Really. Mr. Holmes, would you like to see the first prize? A rare stone Mayan quiche calendar.
Mayan quiche?
Indeed. Their legendary king, Tekun Uman, has his statue just behind you. Although this one is a cast metal copy.
That?
Well, since only members may enter the clubhouse, we have exhibited the calendar outside. Please, explore.
I'd like to win the Mayan calendar. It's a beautiful work of art.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad you are my opponent for the final. People call me Arthur the Invincible, so I wish you good luck. Ah, Mr. Holmes, are you ready to begin the final game? Yes, let's start the final. Congratulations on your game, Mr. Holmes. Exceptional. The awards ceremony will be tomorrow morning. See you then to receive your prize of the calendar. I trust you will be there as well, Dr. Watson?
Unfortunately, I'll be unable to attend tomorrow. Duty calls.
Ah, what a pity.
Let's go home.
Oh, Daddy!
Hello, Mr. Bouvier.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Well, Caitlin?
Your costume!
Oh, don't you like it?
Oh, I do!
Caitlin, come on. Show some respect for your father.
You know, Father, Miss Alice was telling me all about her travels. She has already toured the world with her own father.
Your daughter is exquisite.
And just to think that she was aboard the Orient Express when it was attacked. What a dream!
Indeed.
She's so creative and imaginative. And that reminds me, would you allow Caitlin to visit me so that she can practice playing the piano?
It's very kind of you, but I decided that Caitlin should stop playing the piano.
Oh, Father, why did you say that?
Caitlin, we are neighbours. We'll meet again. Until then, I shall leave you with this book.
Thank you, Miss Alice.
Here it is.
statue did it. It killed Zacharias.
Calm yourself now, Sir Charles. You've had a shock. Let the police do their duty.
What can a mere inspector like you do about it? You don't know anything.
A mere inspector? Pshaw. And now here comes Mr. Holmes.
Lestrade, are you here to receive a prize as well?
Very amusing, Holmes. You can go home. The ceremony's been cancelled. We've got a murder scene here.
Really? And to think I only came here for my prize.
I know, Holmes. I saw your name on the list of finalists. So go away.
You're not going to congratulate me?
What? Do you really think I'm that naive? You turning up out of the blue and then bam, a murder? There's a surprise.
Oh, you're making a spectacle of yourself, Lestrade. Let's just pretend that I am a simple consultant, your humble assistant.
Oh, all right then. A club member, Mr. Zacharias Greystoke, was killed at around 4 in the morning. There. Now don't mess around.
I promise that I won't, Inspector. What do you make of the facts?
It's quite clear. The murderer intended to steal the Mayan calendar. He was caught by Zacharias Greystoke. He then took up the first weapon that came to hand, the statue's spear, and killed Greystoke. Then he fled, just as Sir Charles was coming out of the club. Unfortunately, we've been unable to find any trail beyond the club's wall. It's as if the murderer vanished into thin air. Well, take a look for yourself.
Traces of metal on stone. A piece of the statue's mounting rod. Pieces from the pedestal. The iron mounting rod is broken. Traces of metal on stone. The surface is damaged. It looks like the statue broke away from its pedestal. The statue of Tikkun Uman. This spear came from the statue on the pedestal. Dry leaves. They make a noise. Zacharias probably walked across them. Money was left inside the wallet. The case is scratched and dented. The case is scratched and dented. Tissot watch, Swiss, 1855. This watch is valuable and old. It's been through a great deal. Zacharias' folder with some documents. These drawings represent the Mayan symbols. All valuables were left on the victim. The strike was powerful and well aimed. If I believed Lestrade, this Mayan calendar was the reason behind the murder.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
The great tournament of the London Archaeological Institute's bowling club. What a spectacular season. Sir Charles, are you able to tell me in detail what happened?
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Well, to prepare for the awards ceremony, I decided to spend the night here at the club. I was sitting alone at my desk when I suddenly heard a loud, metallic sound and a terrible shout. I hurried outside and well, I found the body of Zacharias. And I swear it, I saw the statue of Tikkun Uman running away.
You saw the statue running?
It was dark, but yes, I'm sure of it. It was running, and it was making the most horrible metal sound as it did so. And can't you see, the pedestal is now empty?
Did you know the victim?
Yes, of course. It was Zacharias Greystoke. He is... oh, was a club member, and an excellent bowler.
But why was he here so early in the morning?
Oh, I don't know.
Sir Charles, where did the Mayan calendar come from?
It was donated anonymously. We received it shortly before the tournament, with a letter asking that it be awarded to the winner.
Is the calendar valuable?
Not really. It has historical value, of course. But to be truthful with you, Mr. Holmes, it isn't worth very much.
May I go in the clubhouse?
It's members only. I cannot authorize anyone unless that person has a written warrant from the police.
And what about the statue?
No idea yet. I imagine the thief must have taken it somehow.
Right, so there were thieves, and they were very well equipped?
Yes, must have been. Then there's also Sir Charles's version, but
Please, go on.
he said this morning that he was alone at his desk when he heard a shout. He went outside and saw Greystoke lying on the ground and... believe it or not, he said that there was no one else on the green that night but the statue itself running away.
You mean that the statue might have killed the victim? Interesting.
Absurd, more like. Besides, it was dark and foggy.
So, somewhat like your version, then. Did you search the clubhouse?
What for? The murder took place outside.
Scratches on the stone. It looks as if Zacharias was killed the moment he approached the calendar, and killed by the spear from Tukunuman's statue that jumped from its stand and escaped over the wall.
Well, Holmes, your conclusions as my consultant?
My conclusions are approximate to Sir Charles's testimony.
Oh dear, you think the statue did it?
Everything points to the fact that the spear was thrown from the pedestal, and Mr. Greystoke appeared not to notice the killer.
Indeed. The journalists will be ecstatic about your version.
I would like to examine the victim and take a look at his belongings.
Oh, you've amused me at least, Mr. Holmes. Very well. I'll grant you authorization for the examination at Scotland Yard, but nothing more.
Thank you for coming so quickly, Watson. Lestrade already has the victim's body in the autopsy room.
I'm always ready to help anytime, Holmes.
This spear came from the statue on the pedestal. Tissot watch, Swiss, 1855. An ordinary pencil. Money was left inside the wallet. Oh, Zacharias had already translated some symbols. It was a powerful throw. The spear pierced right through the body.
The coroner mentions in his report some specific cardiac and digestive system damage. Traces of alcohol were found in the stomach. Apparently Zacharias had been drinking before his death. Red eye. It looks like a serious infection.
This is where the spear entered the body. The murderer aimed for the heart. The weapon must have been thrown by a strong and skilled person. These scars are old. The Mayan calendar. Here's a chance to have a closer look. Interesting. What are the symbols here? I'll need to redraw them. I could use this dictionary to translate the calendar's glyphs. They are the symbols that were drawn on the Mayan calendar. The papers from Zacharias' folder. They can help us to translate the Mayan message. think I've missed something here. No, I think I've missed something here. No, I think I've missed something here. Cursed will be anyone who disturbs the sacred temple. They will meet their death by the risen statue. Only the chosen will have mercy. It's not only a calendar, it's a curse. Zacharias Greystoke, a member of the club, was killed as the curse decreed. It's possible that the link between Zacharias and the curse is at the archaeological club. I'll need a search warrant.
Aren't you supposed to be investigating those cases of yours instead of bothering me?
Good day to you too, Inspector. I have a small favor to ask of you, a search warrant to investigate the murder at the club.
No, no, and no.
Since I'm without the warrant, I should find something else to do. By the way, do you know if Sir Robin is currently in town?
I have no idea. And why on earth should you even think that I might know that?
Well, I believe I may have solved a case about, let's say, a salacious inspector.
No, it's not what you think. Nothing dishonourable happened. Go on then. Take your warrant.
So he refused to give you the search warrant?
Oh no, I've got it. I won't need you for a while now, Watson. I'll see you later. Sir Charles, I have a search warrant. I would like to take a look inside the clubhouse.
I see. Here's the key, but I do protest.
I heard that Zacharias was killed by the statue's spear.
Zacharias Greystoke. Guatemala, 1881. I don't think this is a bowls tournament. It's Sir Charles Yellingham, the director of the club. I wonder who this man is. The photograph appears to have been faked or damaged. I'll take it. Ah, Sir Charles was once a captain in the guard. The 50th birthday of Lord Stevenson. Charles Yellingham has a large family. Interesting. It appears that the club is unable to pay its debts to the bank. A message to Sir Charles from Zacharias Greystoke, the victim. This metal globe is very impressive. Some bits are missing. Some bits are missing. It appears that it's a part of a gold statue from Guatemala. Solid gold. It's worth a fortune. This piece has been cleanly and intentionally cut. These antiques look quite valuable. These trunks have just arrived. They're from Zacharias Greystoke's antique collection. The late Mr. Roberts' collection. Interesting. The men who own these collections are all dead. The late Mr. Smith's collection. The late Mr. Blinkhorn's collection. The late Mr. Bromsby's collection. The late Mr. Sutherland's collection. Sir Charles, you informed me that you didn't know why Mr. Greystoke was here at such a time.
That's correct. I have no idea.
But in fact, you do. Mr. Greystoke wrote to you about him coming with another person to visit.
Ah, well, yes, that is right. He raised a scandal about the Mayan calendar, so he wanted to see me before the ceremony. But I don't know exactly what it was that he wanted, or who this other person he mentioned might have been.
You have a fine collection at your club, with one disturbing thing in common.
All the items are from our club members.
But only from deceased members, including Mr. Greystoke.
Yes, but it is a rule of the club that all our members undertake to donate their personal collections to us in the event of their death.